Alright, we're starting now. Hello everyone, which lately is nobody because nobody has been watching stream lately. Which I usually only had like 2 people, so not a huge difference, but you know, I don't know where I was going with that. Anyway, welcome to a little different thing. Today I'm going to teach you new people how to play Noita. So, as you've probably realized if you decided to play the game, Noita is a very difficult game. And because of that, it requires a lot of knowledge to play this game. And that knowledge usually you get through trial and error. But because some people don't have that patience, I know I don't, I'm gonna teach you some of the basics and more advanced. Well, I'm gonna teach you everything you need to know to get started and hopefully win your first game. Now, I'm still relatively new to this game, and because of that, I have a hard time with the game myself. But the thing is, I suck at games, while I'm sure at least some of you don't. So, I'm sure you'll do better. So, first thing you need to know about Noita is configuration. So, it has a lot of configuration. You can have primary and secondary keys for pretty much everything. The most important though are these 2 right here. For item slot 1 and item slot 5. So item slot 5 is where the items begins, the item inventory begins, and from 1 is where the 1 inventory is. From 1 to 8. 4 ones and 4 items. The first in your item slots, that is 5, should always be water, which is why you need to have it over here. Well, you need to have it easily accessible between 5 and 1. I use my mouse buttons. For those of you that don't have these kind of buttons or you use it for something else, anything that is close together could help. And I'm gonna show you why once we get into the game. But these 2 need to be easily switched between the 2, because you're gonna need them the most. Going from 1 to 5 on the keyboard is a little difficult while you're moving around, which is why it's important to have the secondary stuff. Beyond that, there's not a whole lot. We're just gonna get started and I'm gonna teach you as we're going. I have already beat the game once through great difficulty, which is why I have nightmare mode unlocked. You don't have to worry about that, it's like impossible if you're not good at the game. So we're just gonna play normally. And we start, we have brine, great. Brine works, it's practically water, so that works just fine. And we've got our 2 ones. So, as you can see, you have 4 slots for ones and 4 slots for items, which is why it's very easy, which is why it's important to be able to switch between the 2 very quickly. Going from 1 to 5 like this can be difficult if you want to move around at the same time. And scrolling is not always the best option. I don't know, maybe some people find it more comfortable, but scrolling is a little difficult, which is why I use these. You can do whatever, then change to water and then back into your 1. So the reason you need water is because this place is very flammable. There's fire everywhere. Like, you don't even have to try much. Look at this. And boom, there's fire. Like, what are you gonna do? If you catch on fire, you're gonna lose HP. And you don't want that when your HP is so limited. So, you need to be able to deal with it before it comes up. Okay, since we're here, I'm going to teach you this. Whenever you see these clear white lines coming off of something, that is a new 1. You need to get to it. These are important, especially early on. You need to get whatever you can. And I can get through, at least not this part. Since we only have a limited number of bombs, we're going to try to go normally. We're going to try to find an opening. And gold these little gold pockets are sometimes like grabbable through the floor. Not often, but it can happen. And here's the first enemy. And that was the first enemy. So Hamas are usually a problem because there's never one of them. It's always a group. And if you know about Hamas, you know they're in groups. And that is the problem. A group of Hamas can destroy your HP very quickly. Yeah, look at this. You see 3? There's probably more than 3. So yeah, you need to be prepared at all times. Can't go up here. See, there's an opening right here. You know, we're gonna be careful of... Yep, can't go through that. Try to get through this. And there it is, it's open. So, if you wanna go somewhere, you should first try to explore to see if there's a way around it before you try to blow it up, because you have a limited number of bombs. Now, when you get a 1, time stops, so you don't have to worry about enemies attacking you. It's a good way to rest a little bit if you're in a difficult situation. The 1 itself is decent, but magic missiles are the most important part of this whole thing. I don't have a way to fly yet, at least not very high, so I can't get up the hill just yet. I'm gonna teach you about the hill a bit later. We're gonna get this one first. So, as you can see, they have a limited usage. Most explosive spells do that, whether it be magic missiles, bombs, dynamite, and then that's a different thing. They have limited usage, and because of that, you need to use them very sparingly, only if you get stuck somewhere. If, for example, there's no way to continue forward, which can happen because the game is randomly generated, then you should use it. If not, you should only use it to get items that are inside locked boxes. There are some locked boxes that are like inside the map, like in here, without any way to get it. An example that is, there could be something in here that you can't really get to. At that point, you'd want to use your explosives. If not, you'd probably want to try to find a way around it. This is the next most important part. The colorful particles that are shorter indicates an item that goes in this part of the slot. The specific one seems to be a potion. It seems to be acceleration, I would think. Either acceleration or levitatium, and there's a dangerous enemy. Okay, so this guy's bleeding now, that's good. And it's toxic sludge, of course. Yeah, you wanna avoid these guys. So yeah, that guy bled with toxic sludge. And because toxic sludge is, well, toxic, you don't want to touch it. And that's the other important part. Water, and brine in this case, can turn toxic sludge into more water. There's a couple materials that do that. Primarily you want to use water, but brine, swamp, and freezing water, cold water I think it's called, can also work. Now this sound, you can see it down there, that's a Stendari, and they are one of the most difficult enemies in the first part of the game. Yeah. Well, I'm not sure you have to do this Stendari yet. I don't really like brine. I mean, it's the equivalent of water, I just don't really like it because it's cold, so I'm just gonna get rid of it. So, for your potions, you can empty them and then fill them up again. As many times as you want. Yeah, this place has a little bit of brine and some swamp. The problem with swamp, though, and brine, when you throw it into that, is that it can create peat, and peat is flammable. So I usually avoid using it. see, there's no oil here, but it still burns. It's because of the peat. Okay, he's completely confined. That's good. We're gonna find him from the other side, but for one, we're gonna try to get the other one as well. Down there. Let's see if we can find a way around it. Ah, that's where the Thundari is. Yeah. So, as far as Thundari go, they're pretty difficult to deal with, especially with just the basic attacks like these. So, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do some of this. And it'll turn entirely into water. So that's how alchemy works in this thing. You have some peats. That's not important. You can do alchemy by putting two different materials in a water bottle. And, well, bottle. In general, just mixing them around. By moving your cursor like that, you can cause them to mix and turn something else. So I used basic alchemy to turn the sludge, the toxic sludge, into more water. And there's a reason for that. So the Thundari, as you can see, they're not big fans of water. So if you just do this, you can kill them very easily. Although it could be considered a little advanced. That was not important. I shouldn't have. That's the other thing. You shouldn't pick stuff up immediately, especially stuff like that. So that was a refresher, a spell refresher. So if you used up these things, your limited spells, you could pick it up to refresh them. So I am an idiot, I should have gone further away, so I don't use it accidentally, but these guys throw explosives, so you want to attack them from far away. Is there something down here? I didn't pay attention. No. Alright. Attack them from far away because if you don't, you're gonna suffer. The other thing you can do is shoot the explosives back at him. If you're good at the game, you can go on stuff. Yeah, so that's the thing about being fast. That's exactly why you need the water. Well, normally you wouldn't get to that point because you would have splashed yourself with water ahead of time. So the best way to not get on fire is to always have water on you. As you can see, having water on you will protect you from fire. So that's very important. Oh, yeah, pay more attention. So that's exactly what you shouldn't do. You need to pay attention to your surroundings. The last thing you want is enter a room full of enemies without being prepared. Like what I was about to do because I didn't pay attention. So, always pay attention to your surroundings and do not enter a room unless you're sure that you can deal with whatever might be there. And attacking alone sometimes is not enough. So yeah, you need to learn how to dodge, that's the other thing. So these guys, they're easy to dodge because they just launch themselves at you. Other enemies are far more difficult to dodge, so you always need to pay attention. This is dangerous, but we're gonna go through anyway. Now this guy, the shotgun enemy. Yeah. Once you hear them do the thing with a shotgun, you should get away immediately. Wherever you are standing, there's gonna be a bunch of pellets coming at you, so you need to be careful with this. Also, oil makes you slippery and flammable. It's something you don't want, which is why you use water to wash it off. So these things right here are called stains. Whenever you have one of those on you, it'll give you some effect. Water protects you from fire, toxic sludge does damage, and oil makes you slippery and flammable. So whenever you get something new on your body, you should always hover over to check it out. Also, by hovering over something, it'll tell you what it is. Now, normally, that effect shows up around here. You can go in the settings to change it so it shows next to the cursor, if you don't like it to be right there. I prefer it on the cursor, which is why I do that. But yeah, if there's stuff around, it'd be interesting to check them out. This one, for example, has gold. It's very little gold, so it's not really worth digging for it. But some areas can have a little more than just a little bit, like this. In these cases, you probably want to take it. Also, be careful when you shoot stuff randomly, since this can happen. This place, it's a little weird. What is this pink stuff? I think it's grass. Yeah, I think it's just normal grass. Yeah, seeing pink stuff scares me because that's usually what weird fungus looks like, and weird fungus can be dangerous. So, yeah. Yeah, now we have this guy. Oh, I didn't see that. That's fine. That's why you need to be careful. There was oil down there, which I didn't see, and that was dangerous. So yeah, be careful with that. So, can't go down there. I'm just gonna go in this direction then. Doesn't seem to be much. Let's go up and try again. This place is super dangerous. Actually, there's a chance there is something valuable in here. Although I can't really find it. Well, let me check around a little bit. And then I'm gonna try to explode the box so I can open up the area. Okay, so that is down. Yeah. So pay attention for that kind of stuff. And I'm just gonna do this. That was not big enough. Alright, that's fine, I guess. So let's see. Is this guy? You can shoot things. You can shoot some enemies' projectiles with this guy. That's very dangerous, but also very useful. I have to see. That is another thing, is to use your environment. So, as you saw, I kicked the explosive into that enemy and he died. What happens is that physics items tend to do damage. Primarily to enemies, not so much you, but it can also do damage for you. So you gotta pay attention. Most of the time they don't do any damage to you. This place is dangerous. I'm gonna go the other way first, actually. To show you a very classic Noita trap is right here. Is this one right here. So usually this thing could be anything. It could be filled with water, it could be filled with toxic sludge. This one is one of the most difficult ones to get past. You get teleportation, as the name implies, will teleport you. This one is not super deadly, thankfully. It can be dangerous, but it's not super deadly. So I'll teach you how to get past this one. It's very difficult, but I've done it before, so I know I can do it. So essentially you want to be really fast. And always point upwards. That's the most important part, is to point up and not down. So since it is stable teleportation, once you get staying with it, you're going to be teleported in the general direction you're pointing at with your cursor. If it was unstable, it would say unstable. If it was unstable, it will teleport you randomly. Because this one is not, you know it's going to teleport you in a specific direction. Because of that, point up and just be ready to be. Now what's then be? Very quick. If you press E to pick up extremely quickly, you can catch it before it disappears. This one is not super useful, but it can be, which is why we're going to take it anyway. And then use water to get the teleportation off you, and there it is. You gotta run without having to worry too much about it. Now that was an easy one to get past. Others will have water, and when you get the one will electrocute you, and others will just have it empty, and the moment you press it, it'll throw acid everywhere and kill you. So, but that is a classic trap. You should always pay attention to it. If we happen to see a different variation of that trap, I'll teach you how that one works as well. But for now, it's not that important. Yeah, this is the area. Gonna kick this out of the way, and let's see. Yeah, you can hear the sound. It's a Standari somewhere close by. There it is. So there's a Standari. Standari are very strong, so you want to avoid them if you can. Yeah, be careful with Standari. The best way to deal with them is to use a powerful spell usually, or water. I like using water, I don't want to waste my thing, so I'm just gonna attack it a couple times. This is a good area to be. Okay, let's see. Yeah, he left. Throwing water on him is the best way to deal with him. So yeah, try to avoid them generally if you can. If you can't avoid them, you're gonna want to explode them. Either explode them or use water from far away, since they're very dangerous. I didn't pick that up. Where did I get past this without paying attention to it? I'm not sure. Yeah, sometimes I don't pay much attention when I'm talking, so that might happen. Where was I on top? I might have passed by on top and now below. Yeah. Let's do more bombs. It's not super useful, and I already have 3 bombs. Yeah, not super useful, so I'm just gonna leave it anyway. Alright, we still have plenty of HP. We don't have a lot of gold, so we should probably kill a few more enemies. Well, first off, I should probably go get the tablet to make getting gold a little easier. So, in the first area, in the mines, all the way to the right, on the bottom, you can find a tablet. That tablet is a very useful tool, so generally speaking, you want to get it every single time. Now, since I have plenty of explosives, I'm just gonna explode the thing open over here. Or I can get past it. Okay, I can't get past it, that's good. Alright, there's hummus here. Actually, I'm gonna leave the hummus. I'm gonna get the tablet first, and I'm gonna show you why it's so useful for getting gold. Alright, here we are. You're gonna find this little area, and right here is the tablet. So this tablet, its original purpose is for lore, but you can use it for a very different purpose. And this is the ocean of lava. I'm gonna teach you about it a little bit later. So for now, I'm gonna teach you about the tablet. So I missed. Good job, me. So you wanna throw the tablet, which I'm really bad at. Okay, that didn't look good. I'm gonna find an easier enemy. Okay, let's find an easier enemy. Here, we have the hummus up here. That'll be a little easier. There it is. Yeah, so by killing enemies with the tablet, you get double the gold they would drop normally. Now that happens because it will count as a trick kill, which is a kill that you didn't technically commit. So essentially you killed an enemy without using a wand or a kick, and so it counts for, doesn't count towards your kills, and it'll give you extra gold as a result. And that's also how you can play the game as a pacifist, which you can do by killing all the enemies using tricks. That'll give you a reward at the end. At least that is what I have heard. I've only beat the game once, so there's no way I can play pacifist. I'm not good enough for that yet, but yeah, that's what I've heard. Not much to get past. This one is packed, can get past it. I'm gonna try to go in this direction again. Yeah, this right here is copper. Copper has a very specific use, as far as I have seen, and nothing else. So it's not very important. That's a lot of lava. Why is there so much lava down here? That is a first. I've never seen this much lava in a single area. That's interesting. Well, this portal is inaccessible. Not that I wanted a portal yet. The next thing is blood. It increases your chance to do critical hits, which is interesting. I don't know why it does that, but it's useful. Did not work. Okay, that was a waste. Well, actually not really a waste. I can try to light it up. That was a bad idea. Since I have plenty of explosives, I'm just gonna do that. Let's see what we can find around this area. A lot more oil. Don't like it. Don't know why there's so much oil around the area. Not a very good thing. Ooh, alright. So... that's very dangerous, but also very useful. Should I get out of my mouse for it? Maybe I should. It's a decent one for the beginning. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Yeah. So yeah, I didn't say that. I should have said that ahead of time. So you can use kicks to like move stuff around. It can be very important. Depending on your situation, if you have a lot of these around, you can kick them to move stuff like this. For trick kills as I did a little bit ago, or just to move something out of the way. Let's see, what else do we have around here? Well, for now we're just gathering. That is a very dangerous area. Toxic rock is not the safest thing. We're gonna do this. This is a very dangerous weapon. Because the thing about disc projectiles is that they can hit you, unlike other projectiles. So most of your projectiles can't affect you. That is not the case with these projectiles. So these things will hit you, and if they hit you, you're gonna be in trouble. So yeah, now I'm just gonna see what this one does. Let's see, nothing good, unfortunately. So that was a waste of time. Alright, let's see. So this thing is risky. It's not very useful, quite the opposite actually. It's kind of useless. You could definitely use it for something, but I mean, you could drink it if you wanted to, but it destroys your aim and it can make you throw up. It also moves the screen around and makes you nauseous, so you probably want to avoid it. It should explode any second now, I believe. sludge. Yeah, this is the other area. I haven't found a lot of materials, unfortunately. That is a big of a problem. Materials, I mean flasks with materials, because those are very important. Looks a lot of toxic sludge over here. Oh boy. So, that's the part we should probably avoid it before it explodes. Yep. Let's see, is there anything else around the area? Nope. We should be entering the collapsed mines at this point. I think that's what this is. At least I think so. Yeah, enemies are also affected by stains like oil. Make them slip around. So yeah, there's also different biomes. To the left of a biome, you can generally find a different biome. The alternative biome in here, it's called the collapsed mines. Dangerous enemies and nothing really worth your time. Some rare biomes that you find at the left of the main biome can be useful, like in the coal pits. You can find the fungal caverns that are very useful, but for the most part they're just more dangerous. The most important thing is don't be greedy like I am right now. If you try to get as much as possible, chances are you're not gonna make it out of the area at all, let alone get a bunch of stuff. So you generally want to just get as many as you can. That's exactly what I needed. So this is Invisibilium. It's pretty useful if you're new at the game. Oh boy. This one can be quite useful. Great, another one of these guys. Yeah, I should probably go back out. Or up. Okay, that place, I can get more water up here. If I can get to that point even. That's what you want to avoid at all costs. So that guy is very dangerous enemy. Alright. So these guys are super dangerous. Because they hit you with a cursed projectile that causes lightning to strike you. That is very dangerous. Lightning is very dangerous, so you want to avoid it as much as you can. So the reason I shoot is to cause the water to turn around and mix with the toxic sludge, so I can move past it. Nothing really here. Let's go from above. But generally speaking, you want to avoid trying to get more gold purposefully, because that can cause you to get killed because you're not paying enough attention to your surroundings. I know because it has happened to me many times. So you want to avoid it happening if you can. Okay. We're gonna look around. Nothing here. I haven't found any hearts yet, which is annoying, but they'll have to do. Let's check out, there's a material up there, okay. I'm gonna check around this for a second. Okay. Let's go back up to get this, and we're gonna see what else is going on. Polymorphine. Yeah, I just entered the collapsed mines officially, although I believe we've technically been in it for a little while. Actually. Yeah. So, polymorphine, I'm gonna show you how you can use it to great effect in a little bit. But yeah. Technically speaking, there isn't a whole lot more we can get from this area. We can get a few more hearts if we search around, but it's not quite worth it. Although I don't have any... there's somebody in chat. Hello there. The thing is louder. Huh. That happens. Give me a second. That might work. That I'm not sure if it's better now. Hope it is. Or should bring the audio down a little bit. That might help. Great, that's exactly what I'm doing now. Let's see, we should hit this guy first. Is he behind something? I don't know. There's a little pixel of rock here that I hit instead of him. Yeah. So there's not much new to get, so I'm just gonna... Yep. I mean, I knew there was a standard there. I don't know why I didn't click, that he might just shoot me, but... Alright. Since I have plenty of HP, I'm just gonna avoid these two. So yeah, generally speaking, if you have more than half HP, you shouldn't pick this up, which is full health regeneration. And this, I already have more than a few of these, so it's not very useful. Pay close to these. Rock, great. And it's not super useful stuff. Is that Homebringer? I could use it, but like, not really. That has long recharge time. We're gonna check it a bit later. Let's see what we have here. Stainless armor, exploding gold, and contact damage. None of them are super useful. So, well, first I'm gonna decide what I'm gonna get out of here. Yeah, I feel like that's good enough. Yeah, these are a little dangerous, so I'm just gonna not use them. Torch, I don't think I'll ever need it, although potentially I could use it. I mean, yeah, I could use it potentially. Yeah, I should get rid of this thing first. These two are identical. So... here's... most useful. I don't have any good spells here, that is a bit of a problem. Sparkling bounce and stuff, it's not super useful, nor is any of the ones. That's potentially a bad idea. Yeah, I'm gonna have to has a lot of spread anyway, though. It's not really worth it. Even if it's dangerous, I'm gonna use it. Thank you for the follow. It's Lely8. Another interesting name, I see. So I'm gonna reroll this. Greed phasing. Strong levitation could be useful. Or I could take greed now. I think I'm gonna get strong levitation. Yeah, that's what I would usually get. So I think I forgot the main purpose. I like how I named it Beginner's Guide and haven't talked about much. So for once, you want to look at cast delay and recharge time. So recharge time is what happens after it has cast every spell in here, and cast delay is the delay between each one of the two spells that you're casting. So if I cast one spell, there is a little delay, 0.38 plus 17 before the next one is cast. So yeah, it's a little dangerous, but I'm getting so. If you hold it down, it's gonna wait a little bit, the cast delay time, before it shoots the next one. And after you've cast all the spells, there is a little thingy right here. That is the recharge time. So recharge time is after you've cast all the spells. So the shorter these are, the faster the one will be. I would like to have some chainsaws or something in the spells so I can show you how to manipulate these numbers, but I don't have any of these, unfortunately. So we're gonna have to deal with it in the second area. So max mana is how much mana the one holds, is this thing right here. And then we have mana charge, which is how fast your mana comes back. I believe it's the number every second, so 51 mana every second. And then there's capacity and spread, which are self-explanatory. Capacity is how many spells it can fit, and spread is how accurate or inaccurate these spells are. These projectiles can change these stats. For example, it adds cast, delay, and spread, which is added on top of what the one already has. On top of that, you have the speed, which is how fast the projectile is leaving the one. You have the damage per slice, and this one also has a secondary spread, which I'm not sure why it has. I'm not sure how the secondary number works. I haven't tested it enough for that. Yeah, then it shows you the type and the mana, how much mana it takes to shoot the projectile. Beyond that is how many spells it casts every time you click, and whether it's shuffle or not. So shuffle means whether or not it'll take the spells in order or in random order. Which is why, generally speaking, you don't want it to be here, which is why it's red, because it's technically a negative. The unfortunate part, though, is that ones that have shuffle also have better stats, as you can see from cast delay and recharge time. Which is why sometimes you want to do this, because it'll be much faster. Which, it always annoys me whenever that happens, because this one, I can only have one spell or two, because if I have more spells, if I try to build something complicated, which I can't because I don't have the right materials over here. I mean, I do. I have Firebolt with Trigger, but because it has limited usage, I don't want to use that. So yeah. The torch, it can be a little dangerous, so I'm just gonna ignore it for now. And I'm gonna keep that just in case I can find a better set of spells for it. No, I do not do this for YouTube, if that is what you mean. So, beyond that, there's nothing much else to do here. other than reevaluate my life choices, because this thing is very dangerous. Well, since it's faster, I'm just gonna do this. Yeah. It doesn't do as much damage, but it's faster. So I should probably do that. Disc projectiles can hit you. If it bounces off, it can just cut your head by accident. So I'm just gonna ignore it for now. And time to leave the Holy Mountain. So, the thing about leaving the Holy Mountain is that it's very dangerous. Because once you leave, the Holy Mountain will collapse, and that will 100% result in you getting destroyed if you're still here. And that will also mean you can't really use it anymore. You can't change your wands anymore. And if you try to break out of it by digging through it, which it's difficult as is because brickwork is almost indestructible, if you do that, you're gonna have to deal with the gods because they get angry when you break the Holy Mountain. So yeah, there's a lot of ways to leave, but right now we only have one way, and that is polymorphine. So what polymorphine does is that it will teleport you. It doesn't teleport you. It changes you into something else. It transforms you. And generally speaking, that's dangerous because when you get transformed, your perks and your HP and stuff get completely changed, get disabled and changed to whatever the creature you transform at has. And that is quite dangerous because if you transform into a sheep, you're gonna have 2 HP and you're not gonna survive anything. But we don't have much of a choice here, so I'm just gonna hope for the best and go over it. Because the area is right here. This area is not the problem is right in here. Here and here. And this little box right here is the trigger. But that trigger only works if you pass it as the player. If you do this, hopefully it works. It does not work. If you transform into something else, it will not work, which is good. So you need to be careful of enemies whenever you do that. Since I transformed into a sheep, because this is basic polymorphine, it will only transform you into sheep. Different types of polymorphine can change what they transform you to, but let's move. Okay, that's good. So that was the other thing. I shot the heart before I tried to pick it up. That is because something I didn't know until I think 2 streams before. This game has mimics, and sometimes they mimic a heart, and you try to pick it up and it bites you. So whenever you see a box or anything pickable, you normally want to shoot it first to make sure it's not a mimic. So now that we've gone through this, also by pressing S you can eat whatever is on the ground. You generally don't want to do that, at least not to random stuff, since eating random stuff will result in you getting poisoned. But yeah. And that's exactly why you don't do stupid stuff. So yeah, as I've said, I'm not the best example to what to do in this game because I'm just not good in games in general. That did not work. Right. Let's see. Can we pick up anything out here? We can pick up some stuff, yes. Yeah. The second area starts to have rats, which are quite dangerous because they're small and difficult to hit. So yeah, the second area also has a lot of gold into little pockets. I don't have a reliable way to dig yet, so I'm not gonna touch them, but yeah, you wanna, if you have a way to dig without explosions, you wanna dig through and get as many of these as you can. It's a good way to farm gold early game, because as you get lower and lower, stuff in shops will get more and more expensive. Whenever you find this, like toxic sludge pools, you want to change them immediately, into water so you don't fall in accidentally and so you can refill your water. You want your water to be always, and also to not get distracted while you're dealing with a shotgun guy. So yeah, these guys do a lot of damage, so you need to be careful to dodge them. They're easy to dodge if you're careful. In my case it's not, because I'm never careful. And then there are these guys, which I hate the most in this area. So these guys will just fly over and headbutt you, and they bleed slime, which is annoying because it slows you down. Although it protects you from fire, that's not very useful, since you can use water for that as well. So yeah, for now we're just gonna move around and see if there's anything useful or that. So yeah, there's something over here. I can't get past it, I can dig through it. Which, I mean, I kinda can. I could bring that all the way here, all the way there, and then explode it. But it's probably not really worth it. So I'm just gonna go below. Can't go anywhere here either. We're just gonna go deeper. So normally you'd want to go deep as quickly as possible to clear a route first, so you can easily make it to a portal in case of emergency. So yeah. Yeah, these guys are annoying. These guys headbutt you, which makes them quite dangerous. So you wanna not get close to them if you can. Yeah, see that? This guy tried to headbutt me. The good thing is that they have low HP, but considering there's too many... Ow, that was a stupid idea. Yeah, don't chase gold, that's the other thing. I saw in a lot of videos when I was just trying the game for the first time. You should really not chase gold, because whenever you do that, chances are you're just gonna have that happen to you. Yeah, I'm not paying much attention most of the time because I talk and I'm an idiot and I can't talk while also paying attention, rather. So that is also... Slime is also annoying. Slows you down, which is why I hate these guys. So this thing is gunpowder. If you throw fire to it, it's gonna explode, so you wanna be careful around it. And check around. Whenever you have stuff like that around you, you wanna explode them from far away, so you don't explode them accidentally, or somebody else doesn't explode them on top of you. And that's an alchemist, so we just met with one of the very dangerous enemies in this area. So alchemists are very dangerous because they throw bottles of random stuff at you, and they also have a ton of HP. Generally speaking, you want to avoid them when it's... Yeah, that right here is what happens when fire meets the thing. Gunpowder. There's probably gunpowder up here. Yeah, that caught on fire and it exploded. That was... I should have gone down, not up. So yeah, these fire bees are the worst, by the way. Fire bees suck. They throw fire at you and they bleed lava. Also, I have very little HP, so I'm not gonna make it past much. So I'm just gonna make it back up and try to be a little more careful next time. Yeah, so that's exactly why I left the HP up there without touching it. You really don't wanna have only 15 HP and not even reach a checkpoint at the bottom. So I'm going in the wrong direction anyway. So I'm gonna go back up in the Holy Mountain once I figure out in what direction it is. Yeah, once I figure out in what direction it is, I'm gonna go back. I'm going to heal. And then I'm gonna be more careful next time. Because this time I was not careful at all. And that is a bad idea. Yeah, in general you should be very careful. You need to pay attention to your surroundings, something I really don't learn how to do. Also on top of it, I'm out of time for today, so I gotta go. So that will be it for today. I'll be back here tomorrow again, same time, if anybody's interested. And I guess that'll have to be it for now. Goodbye, I guess.